is a viewer viewing themselves within the work. And this act of viewing our own selves is like kind of a practice of our awareness, not just of the space, but also who is watching what. Hello, my name is Basist Kumar. I'm an artist based in New Delhi. I have been working since past 17 years, and my practice happens mostly through paintings and photography. What I'm trying to achieve through my practice is not really a form of representation of some specific site or a landscape as such or a form of art, but I'm trying to contain some very specific and some very powerful experiences we can come across in our lives through these representational images. And I go through a long arduous process in making these elements come together, elements like time and duration, body, spatial depth, and many other things to generate some specific kind of experience in itself. So the painting doesn't talk about anything which is out there, but the paintings becomes a world within itself. So I'm interested in that. My works comes from lived experiences, memories, places I have been to, and certain way I have felt. And I know that there is no way possible I can possibly narrate it, even in through my works in a specific way, or through writing or something like that. It's almost like music. If there is some kind of abstraction we cannot really articulate, we can only feel it. So I make visual notes through photography. Like, whenever I'm in field, I'm taking pictures. It's just to make a sketch of something out there, way of looking at things, not really a well composed picture or something which I'm planning to use later on. So images, all the recollected images are like kind of stored. There are tens of thousands of them, and sometimes I would shuffle through them and I would acknowledge, like, what the potential of an image, which may look almost like very bland, or but when this painterly logics comes in play after months and weeks of working, it completely transforms the whole atmosphere, like the composition, the light, the environment, what goes in, what goes out of the image itself, create this idea or understanding of some very specific way or a specific presence which I had felt before. Time is something which is very crucial within my practice. It comes in form of memories and something which I can recollect, that something from the past. Lived experiences, of course, stays within our memories, and time feels almost like a deja vu that can be said that that I know it, but it cannot really be recalled. Like, what was that a specific moment? So time becomes fictional here. It kind of like there is it starts to circle within the work through materiality, through the presence, what the work brings. The place where I was born and raised, that was Bihar and Jharkhand. I had really very intimate relationship with that space, and I grew up, with a very close connection. And this work had a specific idea about death, people vanishing from life. Like, it's not in our hand, of course, that's understood. But do you see them as a person, like the same way you have been doing? Like, the way we relate, like, it's taken for granted. But now you can't take them for granted. There is no way. I bring human figures in a way that their bodies start to appear almost like a landscape. Many a times I paint human figures from their backside, most of the time, like, and I kind of put their faces on the backside in a way that's like their identity isn't revealed, and it just adds to what I try to find in my own works through landscapes. And sometimes they are seeing the landscapes, they are acknowledging. So there is a viewer viewing themselves within the work, and this act of viewing our own selves is like kind of a practice of our awareness, not just of the space but also who is watching what. So it just comes in these two different connotations, the appearance of the figures. Most of the time the colors are a lot more subdued, and I think when the colors get subdued, it intensifies the emotions a bit much. If not natural, I tend to subdue the color, like either but then my works generally either they are high key or low key, like the term we use in the photography, like either they are darker or they are like brighter and everything glows without a dark shadow. We experience every our surroundings through our body, like how tall we are or how strong we are physically, and then everything around us changes accordingly. For example, if we are fit and we know how to climb a mountain would not scare us, it would not appear hostile. But if I don't, then if I just cannot fathom the fact that I may go to Mount Everest and come back. It's all rooted within our body, how we perceive the space. So the scale also plays a big role, like what works goes in front of us and how we interact with our own physicality. What happens is, like if there is a large painting, I'm standing, there is some sort of confrontation happening, physical confrontation which is happening when we are viewing that. There is bodily engagement, like if I have to see the work, I have to step back because they're big, but then I also see many different kind of details and special depths within it. So I want to go in and interact with that. I want to figure things out, and this all this um, specificity of the space itself, which is painted over a period of long time. This also engages our body as a viewer and also as an artist, like how I make it. Like many of times I have to move in a very different way, almost like a dancing a person, to get things in one stroke or so there is a lot of physical engagement happening while creating it and also afterwards. And I think this creates a interesting point how a scale can be used for me, for my practice. It's my first time here, and like this part of Kerala, and first couple of things I notice is how the space feels, and how the houses are made, and how this whole village is like supportive to this festival, like which is artistic and promotes, like many different kind of artistic culture. I'm happy that I'm here. I didn't know there are so many Malayali artists, like here in local area, who are also being part of the camp, and they are also doing like amazing works. So it's good to know them, and I totally love this atmosphere here. It's something which I don't think like I would get in any other place. Indian art scene for me is like really growing, and is growing in a good way. That like people are concerned with, like what really matters, like so they are promoting, there are funds, there are residencies opening up in a lot more, and there are spaces being made for alternative kind of art also, which is like not traditional in the sense, like. So I think like is going in a very good direction.